All right, boys. Well, this should be interesting. EA and their devs, our boy Zaro, who is one of the goats and one of the good guys and there are a lot of good guys in the EA dev community for sure, at least that I've known for a long time. He's absolutely one of them. And he's just released a full detailed look at Title Update 1. So, the absolutely horrified day one or week one patch that year in, year out breaks FIFA and brings it more favorable towards casuals, brings up the AI annoyance and all of that stuff year in, year out. I mean, my worst memory so far with the Title Update 1 was FIFA 18, man. FIFA 18 pre-patch was the best, most skill-based, most rewarding for time spent game we've ever seen. Manual defending, manual scoring, you pull players out of position, you're getting ruined, you pick an area to shoot, you score if it's aimed properly. It was the ultimate skill gap. And then 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later, similar to the exact time we're at right now for FIFA 22 Ultimate Team, they released a day one patch that reverted everything back to full AI defending like it was FIFA 17.1. So as of right now, I want to preface this by saying my first 3-4 days on FIFA 22 Ultimate gameplay was rough. The next gen hypermotion delay, the actual coded delay that EA put on purpose to make players take more realistic touches. If you hold sprint and then try and pass, the player tries to slow down, take a couple extra steps and then pass, shoot, etc. I hated it because I felt like it reduced the skill gap. I still do think it reduces the skill gap because the slower you make a game, the easier you make people that make bad decisions or are able to make decisions slower, the easier it is, right? Because you don't have to have good reaction times and have a quick thinking football mind or anything like that. So usually the slower you make a game, which is why when there's heavy server delay in champs and the game slows down to hell on earth, it just helps the crap players, the guys that sit with 10 behind the ball and then counter, because it doesn't matter if you're in delay or whatever, you're just sending balls up the field and trying to tap it across net for a tap in. So anyways, I digress. I actually struggled, and you guys saw that on stream, and I made a couple of tweets about it. I struggled with the hypermotion, but after putting in hundreds of games in I would argue pretty highly competitive gameplay, if you will. Obviously, we qualified for champs. Going 5-1. We're in Division 3, so it's not like I'm a chump at the game now. And in terms of just games played, we have put in a lot of time. I mean, if you even look at there, we're creeping up on almost 200 games, if my math serves me correctly. So after putting that time in, I'm happy to say that in clean gameplay, in gameplay that the servers are doing well in, this game has so much promise. So much promise. However, there are some issues with the game unpatched right now. The foul mechanics are a nightmare. You can get assaulted from behind every which way, in the box, out of the box. Players will bounce into you, knock you over, and not have a single foul called. I mean, I have a perfect example for those of you guys that missed it. This is the level of broking that tackle and just lack of refereeing decisions and calls and mechanics. This is how bad it is. I mean, I tweeted this, and for some reason I got abuse for this. Like, again, FIFA Twitter is the most toxic cesspool I've ever seen. So, you know, it is what it is. But I do want to show you guys because I think it matters towards this little update patch 1 video, because this needed to be fixed. This is one of the things in the game. As much as I do love FIFA 22 gameplay, here we go, I found it. FIFA 22 gameplay, this is one of the most broken things in the game. So if you look at this, this is one thing they absolutely need to fix here. Like, that should be a red card as well, for God's sakes. It gets worse. This is a perfect example of a two-folded issue with the game right now. So as you can see, as much as I do like FIFA 22, there are glaring issues. The foul mechanics are a disaster. And then the next thing that scares me is the unbalance of keepers. They're insane at times and completely moronic at times. So you fire the ball, you red time a shot at a keeper and they like fall over and it just floats over them. You panic and shoot at the keeper, zero football intelligence. You're not putting it in a corner or anything. And the keeper again falls over, it goes through their legs. And then though, or you finesse from a certain range and it just floats into the net. So there are situations like that where the keepers are moronic. But then on the other side of it, there are situations where the keepers are insane in the box. You put it top corner left, finesse it left. Your opponent moves the keeper off the goalpost. You fire near post, and the keeper, while being pulled away from the near post, drops with the speed of Thor's jizz and drops and just snap blocks it perfectly. Thor's jizz. Damn, that is probably the best comparison I've ever had. Anyways, off the fly as well. So the keepers are both broken and absolutely insane. And that is what I'm scared about gonna read through these notes. And this pitch note review might be a little bit quick because I always give you guys my thoughts on the gameplay and my thoughts on each thing. So it might be a little bit more of an extended review, but hopefully you guys still do find it enjoyable. Now, the other issue with gameplay is that I'm scared about is the game does require football knowledge to a lot of situations. Understanding next gen hypermotion delay, essentially understanding that your players are going to try and take realistic touches and settle themselves before shooting, not just you play the ball into a space with Rafi, you fake shot inside, you've got the shot angle, you just shoot and score like in 21 and whatever. Now you fake shot inside, and sometimes if he's a little bit off balance, he'll take a little stutter step to settle himself to try and hit it realistically. That can be frustrating. Absolutely, because I do find that reduces the skill gap. If I beat a defender, put myself into a position to shoot, when I click a button, the damn ball should be shot. But I've learned to just understand that with hypermotion at least makes the game a little bit more realistic, and I'm actually all for trying to make certain parts of FUT gameplay more realistic. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's actually not good. That actually is good. So I'm happy about that. My concern is though, there are, if you take the time, a hell of a lot of ways to score in FIFA 22. I know some of the guys, especially the ones that aren't putting a lot of time into the game, might just say, oh, dude, what are you talking about? No matter how I shoot, I'm not scoring. If you take the time, there are quite a few ways to learn how to score. And I love having the ability to pick any situation to try and score in. I find the only thing that's a little bit tough is when you're in on net and have 80% of the net to shoot. If you power shoot that or finesse it across, like if you open your player's body up and try and with their left foot finesse into that 80% of the net, the keepers pick it out of the air like crazy. So there are a few situations, but overall, I really like where FIFA 22 is, and I'm so scared that once again, just like FIFA 18, FIFA 18 was the best. I mentioned already, I don't want to repeat myself, the best pre-patch game in terms of skill gap and where the game was. However, even with FIFA 18, there were a few issues. The referees were a bit moronic. Keepers were a bit stupid in certain situations. All EA needed to do with FIFA 18 pre-patch was fix a couple of those things, and that game would have been damn near as perfect as we would have ever wanted. And I feel like this game is similar. They work on the servers. You keep the servers clean. In clean, crisp gameplay, this game is playable. In bad gameplay, dude, in actual server delay with then hypermotion coded delay, it's the worst experience you'll ever have in your life, and I'm scared about that for champs. But anyways, that's another topic altogether. In general, this game has a lot of hope, and I'm just hoping that it's little touches and updates they do, and not a full sweeping like revert back to FIFA 21. So this game becomes, instead of a new hard game for us all to learn, it's now just FIFA 21.1. And what makes me so sad is everybody that says they hate the game, they just spammed the worst game in our history, which was FIFA 20 and FIFA 21. And those guys load into a FIFA 22 and just want it to be the same thing. And that's almost the trap that I fell into the first 2 or 3 days playing FIFA 22, because I was finding it ridiculous. The learning curve in FIFA 22 is crazy high. And I'm glad I stuck it out for the next 2 weeks. Didn't say a thing about gameplay. Every once in a while you'll concede a goal and say this game sucks, but every gamer does that. That doesn't mean that the game's overall bad in its entirety. Anyways, let's get into the title update. I know that that was a long-winded start to it, but I needed to get my thoughts out initially because I do like FIFA 22. However, I do understand that it has a couple of issues. So moving on. Made the following changes to FIFA Ultimate Team. It's already out on PC, by the way. It should be out on PlayStation and Xbox and stuff very soon. Updated Division Rivals progress tile UI to improve readability and clarity. So, okay, for the rocks in our community, they made it more understandable. Players will begin their walkout animation slightly later. So again, the little things. I love that packs are fast. The worst thing ever is just sitting there for hours having to open packs. So quick packs means we get to play gameplay more, which I'm all about. So I will say though, and you guys all heard me say that, the one annoying thing is when you do finally get something good, the player just walks out immediately. So the hype of the pull is almost too fast. Everything else, and I've said this, the way packs open are perfect up until a walkout. When you get a walkout, I would love to see EA delay it just a little bit so there's that little bit of pageantry about who the hell finally have you gotten that's good, and it looks like they've done that. So that is absolutely fantastic. Tifos can now be seen in the stadium while a match is paused. Okay. Tifos can now be seen during additional pre-match scenes and squad battles. Okay. Obtaining stadium item bundles. A pop-up message will now inform a player one or more items in the stadium customization slot that needs to be unlocked. So, I mean, for example, the VIP section. How am I meant to get a bicycle kick, bro, in Rivals or in world-class squad battles, brother? I don't know in Division 3 how I'm going to do it. It looks like, once again, it's going to take me genuinely 8 months to unlock the VIP area, but we'll try. Previewing a kit stadium, I mean, whatever, addressing the following issues. So here we go. FUT Champs Playoffs post-match screen did not always correctly display the total points and rank. Okay. Visual issue only, the correct playoff progression. Okay, so that's fine. Addressing issue with FUT Hero Joe Cole's player item. So for those of you guys that took Joe Cole on PS5, you were not able to enter the draft. I know my editor, Armalika, is just sitting on PS5 with a draft that he's not been able to play for 4 days, and now at least he can. After qualifying for FUT Champs Finals, the playoffs reward screen displayed an incorrect number of finals qualification. This was visual issue. No, I qualified for Champs yesterday and it told me 29 tokens and I thought I was balling, but unfortunately we weren't. Finals qualification provides one entry into the competition and the correct information continues to be displayed when rewarded or previewed. All right, cool. When listing an item on the FUT transfer market, starting price was an increment lower than the buy now price, whatever. Division Rivals main menu window did not display the current player's placement when starting the player's rewards. Were ready to be claimed. Really? Okay, I didn't notice that. Augmented reality presentation overlay did not show the correct score. Augmented reality? You can play FUT in VR? Oh, that would be an experience and a half. Should play me and Zway both in VR, play each other in FUT. That'd be hilarious. How would that even work? Is it end to end? Oh my god, you'd probably get so sick. Anyways, I know it's not that, but that would be hilarious. When displaying the opposition squad during offline friendly matches, loading squad, the squad rating and chem UI elements did not display correctly. I mean, they literally loaded. I hope they talk about like squad battles in certain games. Like you can't even see people's teams. Quick sold kit items were not being removed from the club. Gonna be quick sold again, but for 0 coins. Okay. After completing a Division Rivals match, the button call out for the in-game friendly list could disappear. I mean, whatever. Some sound effects, whatever. Suede players were flickering during friendly. What? Oh yeah, yeah. SWAT players. Yeah, there you go. That was crazy. Felt like my PlayStation was breaking there. The frame dropping. Improved visibility of the wins counter. Displayed Rivals post-match flow. Okay. New Division text that displays the post-match flow. Okay. That's whatever. Division Rivals post-match. Here, this is what I care about. Sorry, boys. I'm just buzzing through this because whatever. Yeah, and actually, we're just going to move on. So, gameplay, boys. Here we go. The important one. Made the following changes. Reduce the effectiveness of goalkeepers when diving for top corner shots from inside the penalty box. Well, I am already fully erect. So, once again, before I continue reading, I just hope that EA don't do the usual EA. The EA have a difficulty with minor adjustments. It's either 100 or 0. There's no gray area with EA with these fixes. And this is what I'm just concerned now that this game goes back to FIFA 21 where every nerd, no matter how they choose to shoot, no matter what ability your goalkeeper is, they're just going to score from everywhere. I really hope that they're just minor tweaks for like the properly placed shots. The keepers don't just wonder save them. Fingers crossed. This changes specifically applies to shot taken within 37 feet 11 meters of the goalkeeper. Okay, so I mean, it looks like it's specific. Improve the frequency of players controlled sliding blocks making contact with a traveling ball. Okay, I haven't really noticed that. Updated the defensive logic for players near the halfway line when defending a counterattack that originated from a corner situation. I mean, just in general, the defenders are so brain dead when someone decides to counterattack you. Defenders near the halfway line will now attempt to more closely mark the counterattacking players. Okay. I like that. That's cool, actually, for those of us that play super aggressive with maybe even a high corner amount of players in the box for corners. Added goalkeeper animations that could occur. Added goalkeeper animations that could occur when a keeper is attempting to save a high finesse shot. This change is intended to provide a more authentic looking goalkeeper reaction, very slightly increase the effectiveness of goalkeepers saving this type of shot. So is that meant to deal with the long range, like cheesy finesses? Which oftentimes might be the only way you can score with these kids that put 10 players in the box. So that either can be a good thing, so you don't just give up cheesy goals, but also I feel could be a nightmare. So it's just up to how EA implement these changes. I think this change did need to come. It's just how much they change it. If they do this, but it's still damn near impossible to score every other way, then it's just going to be a noob's haven, because you just put 10 players behind the box, let RNG dictate that it's impossible to score, run down the field on a counter and score a tap in. I hope that EA balance it. Updated defensive logic for players near the halfway line when defending a counterattack that wait, didn't they? Yeah, that's just repeated. Improve the frequency of player-controlled sliding blocks making contact with a traveling ball. Widen the area where the reticle can be placed during free kicks in order to allow for more control over spin and general placement. Yeah, I find free kicks near impossible. I've hit the post a bunch of times and had defenders and keeper saves. I don't know. I don't mind free kicks being tough. I find last year you scored like 85% of them by the end of the game. Co-op matches, player lock. Okay, whatever. Performs a pass. I never noticed that. PS5 only. Added a new controller setting to set desired adaptive trigger resistance. Interesting. Improved referee that should deal with the complaint I had about Rafi getting assaulted and all my players getting assaulted, man. In playoffs and rivals and draft, the best example, next time, before this patch comes out, go play some games, okay? Because this patch won't be out by the time this video is on YouTube by the time. I mean, people are watching this on stream right now. Go play 2 or 3 games in the draft or high-level rivals or even D4, D5. Look at the tackles your opponents make. Guys will make 50, 60 tackles, so they're going in for tackles and only succeed in 5 or 6 or 7 of them. So it means they're missing 40 or 50. They're missing 90% of their tackles, and not a foul is called ever. This goes to show how bad the physics are of being assaulted in game. It just, there's never any calls at all. So that is hugely needed, and one of the things I can't believe that's in there. That's super awesome. Improving referee logic to call for fewer penalty kicks caused by reasonably timed slide tackles. I like that. I like that a lot. Because once again, it's reversed, right? The logical, intelligent tackles in the box get blown for whistles. You'll slide tackle and knock the ball clean and not even touch the player fall over you, and then you get a pen given away. That mixed with getting annihilated from behind and no calls being given can just make any FIFA game a stress fest. Improved referee logic to call more fouls in situations where a player purposely collides with a goalkeeper that is holding the ball. See, I haven't noticed that. I was watching, I think, 889 Skills last night while I was grinding on my RTG late in the night, and he had a guy on a corner try to shove his keeper into the net and then do a direct shot from the corner to score into the open net. So maybe that's what they're trying to fix. That was crazy. I don't know if you guys saw Skills' stream there. Improved referee logic to call fewer fouls due to soft physical contact. Oh. Okay. How are they going to do... Wait, these are just like contradictory statements. So, I mean, once again, here's hoping that EA balance it, and it, again, soft stuff in and around the box or whatever doesn't get called nonsensically, and then the crazy stuff does, but I hope that's what it is. Improved throw-in accuracy and target selection. That's actually pretty good. I kind of like the throw-in setup because now the players throw the ball. When you're running into an area, they throw the ball into the area you're running into, whereas last year it was very infuriating. Throw-ins were basically just a give back of possession to your opponent in FIFA 21. You'd go to throw it into an area, and the player would always throw the ball behind your player, no matter where they were standing, and it would always go to the opponent's defender. So I actually this year kind of like the throw-ins that you can direct it into the space. So anyways, Just following issues. Sometimes a late fake shot request resulted in a pass. Cool, we've all had that, so that's good. I thought it was server delay. That's coding, crazy. So it wasn't actually server delay. In rare cases, players could take an unintentionally poor touch. How many times have we screamed at my Johan Cruyff taking the worst touch ever? Fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. In some situations, the ball carrier would not perform the feint and exit skill move when requested. Oh, Zway will be happy about that. I know body feint was kind of ruined, so is that what it is? Yeah, body feint is non-existent so far, so that's an interesting change. Rare cases, lol. I know, so silly. When manual rushing the keeper outside the penalty box, the keeper could incorrectly attempt to make a save with their hands. Yep. When attempting to intercept the ball, the intercepting player could sometimes take an unintentional heavy touch, resulting in possession loss. Oh my god. Trampoline legs? Again, manual defenders. You know what I'm talking about. When you perfectly read someone's passing lane and you move into the passing lane, you intercept the ball and it just bounces off of your player right back to your opponent 8 times over. That's huge. That's huge. I love it. Players with a skill move rating between 1 and 3 will now perform the bridge skill move when requesting a skilled bridge skill move. Okay. In some situation, defending team players would momentarily stop moving after the attacking side performed a lob through pass. Dude, how many times has that happened to you guys? These changes are kind of big, man. They're almost covering every little nuanced thing that drove me crazy. All the time. You'll perfectly read a lob through ball. They'll send it. Your opponent's player's just fucking Usain Bolt in on net like a psychomaniac. And your player, you're sprinting, you've read it perfectly, and they just like, what do I do? And it's like FIFA 11 lob through balls. The meta back in FIFA 11 Ultimate Team was just halfway line lobbed balls. The Gabiak Bonglahors of the game would sprint in, and your 90 rated whatever players, I mean, at the time, Vincent Kompany, let's say, or Vincent Kompany would just lose his mind. So that is huge. When receiving a ball from the air, players could rarely be seen running in place before taking control of the ball. Sure. When receiving the ball from the air from behind, in some cases, the player would not attempt to take control of the ball while running. How many times did we try to play in a player having one counterattack opportunity? Do you play the pass and the player just runs and doesn't look and it just smacks him in the back of the head and bounces away? So that's good. Rare cases, players could take unintentionally poor touch. That is not rare. Very common. But I do think a lot of not great FIFA players hold sprint too much and think that this is happening to them when they're just not that great at the game and they're using sprint too much. When you're in rage, you also start doing silly stuff like that. I do it all the time. When I find myself getting mad, or I'm 0-0 after battering someone, or I'm 1 or 2-0 down after maybe feeling like I deserve to have a couple of goals, I start sprinting a lot more, and then this just all goes to hell. So friendly reminder, keep your damn hands off the sprint button unless you're in open space. After catching the ball near the goal line, falling to the ground, goalkeeper could sometimes slide on the pitch. Wait, what? Goalkeepers attempting to punch the ball after a deflected shot, the keeper could attempt to head the ball instead. I've seen that happen in squad battles, but goalkeeper will sometimes not make an attempt to save the ball following a shot if the shot occurred close to the keeper. I've never seen that. I've seen keepers make quadruple saves point blank across the entire goal. In some rare scenarios, goalkeeper would get up too slowly after engaging in a physical contest. When attempting a diving save, the goalkeeper could sometimes dive diagonally instead of laterally. Jesus, that's a nightmare. That's so bad. All right. In rare situations, when attempting to move while shielding the ball, the shielding player could leave the ball behind. Okay. In rare situations, goalkeeper does not attempt to catch a cross near the goal area. Okay. Some rare scenarios, when a ball is kicked out of play, the incorrect team was given the ball to resume the play. Bro. Sometimes. How many times you get annihilated through the back, the ball goes out of bounds, and the ref's like, goal kick. You're like, wait, what? How is that possible? If he got the ball, it should be my corner. If he didn't get the ball, it should be a damn penalty. And yet the ref's like, no, none of that. Goal kick. Okay. When playing a locked player and the match ends in a penalty shootout, the locked player's match rating could unintentionally decrease. Okay, whatevs. Skipping a non-gameplay scene that plays before a goal kick, the input combination could result in come short or push-up function being requested. Facts. I've had that happen. Just trying to get through a scene, and then all of a sudden you go to your goalkeeper and all your players are 80 yards up the field. Sometimes fouls are not being called when committed on a player performing a nutmeg or bridge skill move. Interesting. That is true. I've had that happen where you beat a player with a nutmeg and they just smash you. They Hulk smash you into the ground. Penalty kick could have been incorrectly awarded after a well-timed slide tackle in the penalty box. I like that they're fixing that. That's huge. Rare occasions. These are always my favorite. An incorrect animation could occur after skill move was requested. No, pretty regularly, I would have to say. At least in NA West. Maybe that's server issues. I don't know. But anyways, sometimes a ball carrier could dribble in a different direction than requested. I mean, this explains a lot. And once again, me thinking that it's server issues where I'm receiving the ball and I'm trying to move into this area and your player just receives the ball and walks forward. So once again, a lot of these issues might not even be server issues. It might just be coding issues, which is more scary than server issues. But nevertheless, here's at least the good news that they are looking to fix stuff. Occasionally, a player could get stuck in strafe dribble animation for longer than intended. Yep. Sprint knock-ons could not be requested and the sprint button configuration was changed. I don't know how to feel about this one yet. I don't know about you guys. I find myself accidentally doing the sprint knock-on a few times. Goalkeeper could sometimes perform an incorrect saving animation when attempting to save a header. Gameplay could sometimes appear blurry when using a pro camera. Attempting to cancel an advantage call had no effect. Hair could sometimes appear blurry during gameplay and replays, or blue, not blurry. Players could sometimes have a faint dark glow appear around them during gameplay or replays. I mean, that's probably what they're talking about. So career mode, trust me, I love career mode. We play it every summer. I'm not going to review this right now. I will review career mode and where it's at when we start our Leeds United and our Road to Glory career mode. The Leeds United one will be in the summer. The Road to Glory career mode, building a Twitch, YouTube club, starting from the bottom of the English Prem and trying to build it all the way with academy players to a Champions League and Prem winner. I don't know when that's going to start. It's probably going to start after Team of the Year, but it might not. We might not have to wait all the way until the summer. I'm going to see, because I might want to do that on PC with all the crazy PC things that you can do. Apparently it's awesome, says Mr. MGH. So anyways, I'm not going to review any of this. I'll leave that to you guys. Volta, don't care. Pro Clubs, I am excited about, and I hope that it's good for all my Pro Clubs homies out there. I love this game mode. I personally think it should be integrated into FUT. I think Pro Clubs and Volta should be one thing, and all of that should be integrated into FUT as well, like it was in FIFA 2009 Ultimate Team. It was the best thing ever, and it's been crap since then, in my opinion. But I hope for you Pro Clubs guys that that's going well. Right now I'm exclusively a FIFA Ultimate Team grinder until about the summer, so I'm just looking at like actual gameplay that affects us in Ultimate Team. General audio and video, don't know if I'm too worried about any of that. Addressed issues where player-based difficulties and stuff like that. No, that's fine. Team Sheets is fine. Online Seasons Cup is fine. Stat tracking error message, that's all good for co-op seasons. Skill games. Yeah, I think everything else is all good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Again, as everything that I do in my career ever, it's a long-winded look at the first patch, and I hope, even after reviewing that stuff, I'm very excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm very excited. But I hope that EA balance things properly. That is my biggest wish, is that they balance things. Because it's well and good doing these changes, but if they don't do it intelligently, it's just going to switch the scale the other way, right? Where this game is very hard, has some issues, but it's very hard and very skill-based in a lot of ways. Some ways not, but that's the way FIFA 22 is now. And if they switch things too much, we're just going to go back to a FIFA 21 where it's just absolutely zero skill, which does happen sometimes in 22. But anyways, and I don't want to see that either. So I love you guys. We'll catch you on the flip side. This is just a one-off video of me reviewing the day one patch notes for FIFA 22 Ultimate Team gameplay. We'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.